What's going on, everybody? Today I want to show you how to smoke a rack of ribs on a charcoal grill. Now I also like to smoke meat a lot of the time in these Brinkmann smokers. Brinkmann. But I want to show you guys how to do it on a charcoal grill because chances are you have one laying around and it's actually not that hard. So let's talk about setting the grill up first. There's three main components when it comes to setting the grill up. The first is your water pan. You're going to obviously need a pan that can withstand a good bit of heat. And the water in this pan is going to be responsible for keeping that meat moist and also infusing that meat with smoke flavor. Kind of like air braises it, if you will. Next is your charcoal. So what you want to actually do is arrange the charcoal around the outside of the water pan in a ring. And you want to make sure that this ring isn't continuous the whole way around, or else it's going to burn in two directions. So what you want is your ring to burn in one direction, like the band. This is the best way to make sure that your grill never gets too hot and it'll burn for a long time. Third is your wood chips. I like to use applewood on most things, especially pork. You want to soak your wood chips in water beforehand, and then you want to sprinkle them throughout your charcoal ring. This is going to give you that smoke throughout the cook. As far as prepping the ribs, what you're going to do is remove the membrane from the inner side of them. I prefer spare ribs over baby back ribs because they have a lot more meat on them and they're cheaper. So when I take the membrane off the ribs, I like to find the farthest visible bone, which is right here. Then I'm just gonna take my knife and with the tip, I'm just gonna slice it. Then I'm gonna take a paper towel and grab it and just rip it off the whole way down. You might have to make a few run-throughs, but in general, it's a pretty good way to do it. Some people also take off this flab of meat right here. I don't see the problem with it. We're gonna cook it with it on. I've actually cooked a lot of ribs with the membrane on. It's not a huge deal if you can't do it. Next, we're gonna wanna rub these ribs down. One thing I want you guys to understand is you can't screw the spice rub up. As long as you put salt, pepper, and some other stuff on it that you like, it's gonna turn out fine. It's all about the cooking. In general, for me, the components of a good rub are some type of red pepper like paprika or cayenne or smoked paprika, garlic or onion, some type of herb, salt, pepper, and one type of sweetener, brown sugar, or I even use stevia sometimes. The sweetener is actually really key for smoked meats. So give your ribs a rub down with whatever you want. Today I'm just gonna be using some Weber burger seasoning because it has a lot of these different things in it, and it turns out just fine. I like to rub my ribs down with the rub, wrap them in saran wrap, and store them in the fridge overnight. That's gonna help those spices kind of really get in there. When it comes to placing the ribs on the grill, you wanna make sure the ribs are never directly above the hot coals. This is gonna make sure that the underside of your ribs never get burnt. If you're still scared about this, put some foil under it and call it a day. I used to only smoke meat on the grill when I had a thermometer telling me what temperature the grill was, but I found that the charcoal smoke ring really can't burn much hotter than 250 degrees. You want to try to avoid unnecessarily opening the lid during the cook because you want to keep that heat in there, but you do want to periodically check that there's enough water in your pan and that the coals are never underneath your ribs. If you see the coals burning under your ribs, rotate it. Ideal cooking time for me is about 5 hours. You can go more, but I wouldn't go less. I've smoked ribs for 4 hours, kind of in a pinch before, and they come out a little bit chewier, and the meat doesn't pull off the bone as cleanly. Key temperature, you want to keep that grill between 200 and 250 ideally. The charcoal smoke ring really allows you to do that pretty easily. It's not going to burn hot. So there you go, guys, a really easy way to get good barbecue right in your backyard. Try it, let me know how it goes.